So, thank you for coming in. I guess I've been asked to come in and just have a chat with you as a bit of a group because there's obviously been something quite difficult you've been through today. Just to introduce how I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to run through a few different kind of stages of doing this with you today. So I'm going to ask you some kind of factual questions about what happened and go through kind of where you were, what was going on, those sorts of things. And then I'm going to ask you kind of how you're doing with it, what's going on, and then try and provide you just with some really basic information that might help you go through that. I appreciate it's obviously feeling very raw for you right now. It's feeling very active for you right now. And obviously we just want to connect you with anything that might help. Okay, would that be okay? Yeah. You need to feel free to talk as much or as little as you like. Yeah? This is all completely confidential. Yeah? The only time that there would be an exception to that is if I thought there was a risk to yourself or others, much like anything else. Yeah? And feel free to talk about anything like that. Okay. Yeah? We're not going to be here for very long at all. This will be probably about 20 minutes, something like that. And then we'll just kind of let you go and do what you feel like you need to do. Okay. Would that be okay? Yeah. So, does one of you want to kind of tell me what happened today?
We had a death in the department. So there was a child who came in and was just gone. And then we had to get the parents in, and the parents were just, you can imagine.
Sure. Who was around at that point? It's okay.
I was with the parents for the most part, while Charlotte was looking after the child. So I was just trying to keep the parents calm as best I could, really.
Yeah. So I'm asking where you were at that point.
It feels like a bit of a blur to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling really overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed now, actually, like being here. I'm finding that really hard.
Yeah.
I just feel a bit frustrated because I don't feel like it was all managed well. I felt very on my own with the whole situation.
Yeah, I felt
how it obviously feels quite close right now. What kind of time of day was this happening?
It was about an hour ago. I left the department.
Yeah, about an hour ago.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay. What do you both remember about what was happening around? Was it lots of people? Was it just a few of you?
I felt like it was just two of us. I don't know. I don't remember there being that many people around.
Mm.
Yeah, like I dragged the parents into the family room to just get them out of the way, because the mum was just screaming, and I thought she's going to be, other people or other patients around and what have you. So yeah, I just dragged mum and dad into the family room and just tried to keep them in there for a while.
So we've got the child being resuscitated, and we've got parents in family room at that point. Yeah, and you're sort of having to move people around, do those sorts of things. What happened next?
I think that was when more people came in.
Okay.
Yeah, then there was a lot more of the team. I know I just said I felt like I was on my own. I don't know. Then there was a lot more people there.
So more people came in at that point.
Yeah.
I was on my own for a long time. We didn't really know what was going on, because obviously we were in the family room. So it took a long, we didn't know what was happening until one of the doctors came in and spoke to the parents.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was horrible.
What will they have been talking about?
Who, sorry?
When they were going in to speak to the parents, what were they doing?
The doctor came in to just explain that the child had died and that there was nothing more they could do, and that they were sorry, and just all that kind of stuff.
I just think for me, all I can can just only like hear how upset the parents were, and I just felt really helpless. I felt like I wasn't doing anything.
What can you hear them saying or doing?
They were just saying that it couldn't be that way because the child hadn't been ill for very long.
Yeah.
And that we must have it wrong.
Yeah.
She was just screaming, wasn't she? She was just really, really, really.
Yeah.
The dad was very like. I think the dad upset me more because he was just quiet. He was just like numb, like he just couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what came next?
I feel like that was when people started to retreat a little bit, and it was a more intimate group. People took themselves off. The family were taken somewhere quieter.
Yeah. Yeah. So me and you took the family in so they could see the child and be with them for a little while.
Yeah.
Obviously before the reports came and everything.
Yeah. So you took them in to be with the child.
Yeah, to say goodbyes
and then at some stage they'll come out of that.
Yeah. I think I felt like I just wanted to stay with them for longer.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like.
Did you stay with them for longer, or did you?
No. I needed to take some time. I was really struggling actually throughout the whole thing because I have a small child, and all I could think about was ringing to check that my child was okay. And I felt a little bit guilty, maybe, because I could only really think about myself.
So you were doing a lot of thinking about that at that point.
Yeah.
Do you mind asking, did you make that call?
Yeah. I made that call.
So you took yourself away and made that call?
Yeah, and I felt like that was what I needed to do at that point. Just because my little one's not been very well. So it just felt very raw for me, and it's hard to separate.
Sure. Is it still feeling raw for you both now?
Yeah. I actually know about that. I don't know. I think because I left the parents, and then I had to go straight into another bay and help another patient or something. So then I almost didn't get any thinking time. I had to go, and it was just something like I just literally had to go in and turn the monitor off. I don't have to do anything big, but I just had to go and be like normal with another person straight after, and then.
Yeah, sure.
So I think I just kind of had to put my front on and kind of get on with it really. Yeah. And then I'll come in.
Yeah. You said there you feel a little bit zoned out. When did that start?
I think I didn't really hear a word you just said there. Sorry. I'm just really
That's okay. That's how I felt during everything that was happening. I felt like I was somewhere else as well. I feel like I don't really remember. I just remember how I was feeling.
Yeah. And how's that feeling now for you? Are you still feeling the same things that you were then, or have things kind of changing over time in the last couple of hours?
I'm really annoyed, if I'm honest. Like I was left in that room with the parents for what felt like forever, and we had no idea what was going on. We knew that he probably died, but we just got no information, and it took ages for anyone to come and tell us what was going on. So I was just trying to keep them calm, trying to console Mum as best I could. But how do you even do that? I don't even.
It must have been quite an enclosed feeling for you. Sort of
I was
in
just
there
stuck in there with them. I couldn't get out. I couldn't leave them. I don't know. I've no idea how long I was there for, but it felt like hours.
Yeah. A sense of time going quite slowly, that real feeling of it being a long time.
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you? Or?
Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like I'm just still stuck in that room a little bit. And I think I'm just, I suppose, struggling with the thoughts around what that family is going to be going through now. I think I'm still stuck with them, which I'm finding hard. I don't know how I could go back to work now, still thinking about my little one and their little one, and I feel guilty. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if I feel so annoyed, but I definitely felt like I was on my own. I definitely felt the same thing around that.
Lots of thoughts racing there.
Yeah.
You mentioned some guilt there. You mentioned some feeling on your own with it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I feel a little bit better now that it's us together. But I'm just a bit worried about the rest of my shift or about going home. I don't know.
Does some of that feel similar to you?
Yeah, I've nearly finished now. I'm due to go home after this anyway, but I don't know if I don't quite know if I'm ready to go home. I don't really want to go to an empty house. I might stay on for a bit actually and just see if I can help with something.
Yeah. So at the moment you both described either a kind of aloneness there or a not wanting to be alone there. Yeah. Okay. How does it feel being asked questions about this at the moment?
I'm glad somebody's asking, but I don't know. I just feel a bit. I feel like we're not giving you good answers because I'm not really.
Yeah, I feel
sure
like you need to ask us this in like a week when I've processed it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still a bit spaced out. I think that those words were how I feel as well.
Yeah, sure. And I think everything you're describing there, that sense of feeling a bit spaced out, feeling like it's hard to answer questions at this point because it's all very active and it's all very kind of spinning around in your mind. That's a very normal thing to be feeling at this point. And as you said there, asking questions in a week or things like that, that may well come. That may well be the thing. But right now it's just kind of scoping out how things are right now. And just being able to, I guess, to say to you that what you're going through is perfectly reasonable for what you've just experienced today. Yeah. Have you been through anything like this before?
I think in the nature of what we do, this is stuff that we come across all the time. But
sure.
For me, I just think it's a bit too close to home, and I'm worried I won't want to come back in tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. What are the things that normally help you both, sort of individually, to be able to deal with this stuff on a daily basis?
Wine.
Yep.
Gin.
And professionally, I can't recommend wine and gin, but I'm not going to tell you that it's the wrong thing either.
I think just being probably with my family, but I feel like this is a really hard thing to talk to them about.
Of course.
But I don't want to upset my partner in any way and make them worry. So I don't know. You could go for a run, but it's just I'm so tired. I feel tired as well. It's hard to know what's right to do, isn't it?
It feels very hard to know what the right thing is now at the moment, and it may well be different for each of you. That home sounds like it's a bit of a place of safety for you, and introducing a bit of unsafety might not feel very helpful right now. But you described kind of going home to an empty house and wanting to avoid that. Yeah, it may well be at this point both of you just finding somewhere that does feel safe to you, somewhere that you can go. It might be somebody that you can talk to, or just being able to be around someone where you don't need to talk if that's what you need right now. Yeah. Are there any other things that you tend to do that help clear your mind a little bit or help take your mind away from things?
I think the drive usually helps me a little bit.
Sure.
I think ultimately I'm probably going to need to talk to somebody else. I don't think I'm going to manage it well without doing that.
Yeah. You'll have obviously been through some of these things before, but each event can affect us differently and can tie into different things in our history. But there are some common things that we go through. I suppose, just to give you some basic information on this stuff really, it's worth you knowing that this experience is incredibly common for people. These feelings and thoughts and the thoughts racing are incredibly common for people. The vast majority of people that go through that will come out of it the other end okay. Yeah. There's a really high rate of people that have these experiences and actually manage to process them over time. That said, some people need support later down the line, and that's okay too. And that can be about whether a particular event has just touched you more than normally would, for whatever reason. Yeah. And it's okay to later down the line to be able to say, as you're saying, I might need further help down there. You mentioned in there this sense of thoughts racing at the moment and thinking about what could have happened, connection to other people in life and bits like that. One of the things that our minds often do when we experience something quite traumatic is they play out events. It plays out it goes over the situation that we've just been through again and again and again, and it also goes through situations that could have happened or might happen in other situations or bits like that. What it's doing there is trying to keep you safe. It's trying to show you that something very traumatic and very difficult has happened, and it doesn't want it to happen again. So it's trying to run through those events to try and show you different things that you might be able to do or bits like that. And actually sometimes that's helpful. Sometimes it can be quite unhelpful, but it's the only way that our mind knows to do things.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just going over it and over it again,
Yeah.
again and again and again.
Yeah. And again, that's incredibly normal at this point. What normally happens is, let's raise that word normally a lot, but what commonly happens is that as you do that, alongside that, your body and your brain get used to the idea that you are now safe. So there's no active threat. So you'll be familiar with the idea of adrenaline in your system, and right now there'll have been a lot of it, and you'll be coming down the other side of that. And as that adrenaline decreases, and as you sleep and you get rest and those sorts of things, your body slowly comes out of this threat phase and into more of a stable phase. And as you stop feeling the active threat, then it stops replaying normally. Yeah. You might still get it sometimes, so it might replay it a little bit again, but not as frequently. But commonly that's what happens. But it's doing its job right now to try and keep you safe, even though it's a very difficult thing to be going through. Yeah. Is there anything that either of you or both of you need to be able to feel that you can come into work? Obviously you mentioned it feeling very difficult to potentially come back into work. Is there anything that would help you at the moment with being able to do that?
It's hard because I feel like I don't really have a choice.
Sure.
I don't know whether I'll just feel better once I've had a good night's sleep and I've seen my family.
Okay.
I can be at home for a bit of time.
Okay. Test it and see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just before I come in here, my manager said, like, she was just like, "Are you all right?" And like, "That was a really shit day. Are you all right?" And even just hearing that was helpful. And she said, like, if I want to either come in on a different shift tomorrow or not be on the shop floor or something for a day or two, then
sure.
So I said I'd have a think about it for tomorrow. That's helpful.
So there might be some ways you can adapt slightly. Do you kind of have people in the workplace that you tend to connect a bit with, that you tend to, when things are difficult, that you tend to talk to a bit more and bits like that? Which you don't have to tell me about them, but I'm just, do you feel like you kind of have some colleagues or people?
Yeah. There's like, a few people who've like, even just on my way here, just who grabbed me and like gave me a hug and were just like, "Are you all right?" Like that
Sure.
kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
I don't talk to too many people about, but there's definitely one or two that I speak with.
Okay. Sometimes just having those people in the workplace that share some of your experiences and past experiences, it's not necessarily getting their experience, but it's just about being able to know that you can talk it through with somebody that understands the facts and the things that happen and the way that it can be in the environment. Yeah. Would it be okay if I kind of either give you some resources now or send you out some resources that you can look at? It might be things that you find you don't need, but there would just be things you can draw on there, people you can contact if you do feel like you need more support and bits like that.
Yeah.
Would that be okay?
That's fine.
Yeah. That's probably about it from me for today. Is there anything you want to ask me before we wrap this up?
I guess like if we wanted to speak to you again, is that okay? Yeah.
So what we'll normally do is we'll let you take a little bit of time to process, and if you need further kind of one-on-one, then I can have a chat to you about the best way to do that and what might need with support, but we'll make sure that support's in place for you if you need it, and there's a few different ways you can access that.
Okay.
That'd be okay. Thank you. Done.